Not yet, not yet. Things are starting, slowly but surely come back. But no, right now we're just this is it. We've been on Fatima for months because we were supposed to originally open back in end of March, maybe early April, and obviously that timeline was significantly pushed back. So we've been on this on this account for a very long time. But we're very happy with the success so far in terms of just getting press to cover it. So thank you for being a part of that process. Exactly. Yes. A lot of people know the material. That's very true. Were you able to catch the film before? Great. Did you enjoy it? Oh, no, you're totally fine. Do your job. Hi, Jeannie. You're gonna have to turn your video on and your microphone.
How's that?
Perfect. I'm gonna hide myself.
You can hear me. Hello, Warren. I don't know that we've ever actually met eye to eye and beyond, right? How many newspapers and TVs, lots of them. The way things have changed.
Well, so I guess they're recording it on their side. Jeannie, do you want us to record it on our side, or you're good with them having it?
I'm good with you having it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So I guess y'all can start your interview. We said about 10 minutes if you got it, and enjoy.
Thank you. Warren, have you seen the film? Great. Okay, I just want to know so I wouldn't have to make any. It's quite the story in and of itself, irregardless of how a director decides to tell it. All right, Jeannie Reinhardt Burney, and I am a founder and chief operating officer of Picture House, which is a film company that releases movies historically through theaters and with Fatima theaters and on demand. That's an interesting question because I believe that I must have studied this as a little girl. I went to St. Matthew's and Resurrection, fourth grade class at Resurrection. So when I came upon this movie, I was reminded that I knew of this story, and I was reminded of my grandmother. I did not, though, know as much about it in all of my high school and on until I got involved with this movie. I think the idea of God speaking to children and through children resonated with me because I have two children of my own, and I often felt that God was speaking through them with some of the things that they would say, even as just young kids. Well, what we loved about the film, my partner in life and in work is my husband, Bob Burney. And Bob had a different experience with Our Lady of Fatima. His great aunt was very much involved in that story and had taken his cousins to Portugal to go to Fatima. So he immediately knew a lot of the nuances of the story and felt they were intact. We both really thought the film was cinematic. We really felt that we could bring an audience to this film, that Mary did not just appear to baptize Catholics, she appeared to everybody. And we felt that the filmmaking was of such good quality that people would really be entertained when watching the film. So we believe that we could get this movie out there in the right way. And that's usually what we look at when we determine what films we want to work on. Well, you have a wonderful director who has a vision of a story that's based on true events. So it's not unusual to find yourself talking to people who may have their own vision of what the story is. And you simply have to remind them this is not a documentary film. This is not a film that is retelling the story and using eyewitnesses or, footage that was from the time, any of that kind of thing. This is one director with a vision, casting a movie and telling a story. We did travel to Portugal and show the movie to the Shrine of Fatima, which is the leading place that devotees journey to. They're actually called pilgrims. And beginning May 13th through October 13th, up to 4 million people visit the shrine. And we were so pleased that the shrine liked the movie and gave us an endorsement, and their endorsement welcomed artists to be inspired by the events that happened there, and thought that the movie did a really good job of telling the story. Again, not a documentary, it's a story, and we thought it was beautifully shot, well acted, a good screenplay. And if we contribute to the discussion about Our Lady of Fatima, that's great. But we also think we just have a nice movie with a nice message to bring out in the marketplace during this pandemic and these crazy times we live in. What's different? This is property that's almost like a best-selling novel. The Fatima is almost a brand onto itself. And so it comes with people who are so devoted to Our Lady of Fatima, her messages, and the story, that this one had a built-in audience that we had to be sure that we stayed authentic with while trying to expand that audience. The film also has a couple of songs from Andrea Bocelli that were given to the movie because he is a Marian, he loves Our Lady, and he's been to Fatima and he sang at the Centennial. So to be able to cut a trailer to a Bocelli song, it is one of those things that will always be something that I remember fondly. But I think mainly it's had its own built-in, like a brand, audience that has its own ideas. And so we've kept Our Lady secret. We haven't shown her face. That'll be a reveal when the movie opens. We've used the Bocelli song because we've loved it. And, we've also given out enough of the movie that I think people understand that this is a film, a story that's based or inspired by historical events, but not a documentary or a retelling. I don't recall it at St. Joseph's Academy as being a part of it. I believe it was more when I was in elementary school, either St. Matthew's or Resurrection. Because as I said, I was really familiar with it in the back of my mind, but I didn't have all the detail. My father loved movies. And I found when he died, a scrapbook that he started keeping in, like, he was born in 1930 in Green Bay, St. Vincent's, and he had a scrapbook and he was cutting out articles about the Wizard of Oz coming to Green Bay and other big movies, and always loved movies. And I remember we had 6 kids, so at least 5 of us were around for Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music. In fact, The Sound of Music was his favorite movie, and my sister Julie is named after Julie Andrews. So I would say from a very young age, I had a real appreciation of going to movie theaters and of seeing these long form stories, hour and a half, and enjoying them. The movie was such a nice movie that it really took just getting people to see it. The theaters tend to have a centralized buyer somewhere in a big city. and they kind of make all the decisions. And then the movies come to the theater and they play, and there's a national ad campaign. But whenever I've had a movie in Green Bay, I've worked really hard with the exhibition chains, and there it's Marcus theaters, to say, you've got to have this movie in Green Bay. My family will come, my friends will come. And I think it was the same type of thing. I was excited to have a hometown story with Tony. Many of my friends had gone to Cathedral with his brothers and sisters, and we had a nice run there of Big Night. Of course. I'll tell you a funny story, Warren. We did when the theaters didn't open, we did a series of drive-in pop-up screenings around the country, and one of them was at Soldier Field in Chicago. And the owner of the Chicago Bears gave us a message of welcome that we ran before the movie, and I had to put this shirt on to watch it. I think that this movie spreads a message of hope, love, and peace at a time when I think everybody is looking for that kind of inspiration and that kind of programming, and just to have a little escape from everything that we're dealing with. So that I hope that people, whether theaters are open in their areas or if they go to the on-demand platforms, take an hour and a half to watch this movie and enjoy it. And we're happy to be contributing it into the culture right now. We are very hopeful for a Best Song nomination. Bocelli being such a wonderful artist and having performed an original song written by the film's composer. So as we get the movie open, we hope everybody who watches it will pay attention to those songs, because we will then be running a campaign. That part of the Academy votes a little differently. It's all selected by the music branch, so they really know their stuff. And we feel like the song is beautiful, uplifting, contributes to the movie, and we're looking forward to that. I would also say the production design and the costumes in this movie are really beautiful and well done. You do feel like you're in Fatima, Portugal in 1917, the way it's shot. So there are a lot of opportunities to put the movie forward. Welcome. Thank you. It's nice seeing you too. So thanks for all your support. I'd like to tell my brothers and friends where this is going to be.